Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to Kat's Tiny Kitchen. I'm glad you got to come and see my beautiful face for radio. Today we're going to do a little something different. Mike wants me to make some buckwheat honey cookies, and he wants them cakey. And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't bake a lot. I can bake bread, and I can make my chocolate spicy bacon brownies. But other than that, I don't venture out. So today we're coming out of our comfort zone, and we're going to try these cookies out. So let me go ahead and start you off with the ingredients that I will be reading because I can't remember them. And my phone shut off. So we're going to start out with, this is a half a cup of butter. And we've got a half a cup of Crisco. Then we've got a cup of granulated sugar. We've got a 3/4 cup brown sugar. We've got a half a cup of molasses. Not molasses, that's the honey. And just so you know, this is the honey, and it says buckwheat right there on the top. Then I've got 2 eggs. Then I've got 2 cups of wheat flour and 2 cups of self-rising flour because I screwed up at the grocery store today and bought whole wheat flour instead of regular flour. So we're going to try and make this work. We'll just tell Mike it's a more nutritional recipe. Then we got a half a teaspoon of salt. This is where I really have to read because I haven't figured all this out. Then we got 2 1/4 cups of baking powder or baking soda. Then I've got 2 1/4 teaspoons of ground ginger. That's my own ground ginger, by the way. Then I've got a teaspoon of allspice. I didn't have any ground cloves, so I'm going to use the allspice instead today and see how that works out. And then our final ingredients is 1 1/2 teaspoons of cinnamon. So now that we've covered all the ingredients, let's get to cooking. Let me get my mixer out and we'll start the job. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cream our fats, our oils, the butter and the Crisco and the sugars together, and you want to get them fluffy. So I got to get me a spatula here, and we'll start with these guys. And I'll add the butter first. Come on out of there, you little bugger. There's the butter. Now we're going to add the Crisco. And we got our brown sugar. Get out of there. And our granulated sugar. So we're going to lift this up, excuse me, and we're going to start mixing it, and it's going to get a little loud. I got to try and do this strategically because I have a tiny kitchen and I don't have a lot of room to film. Turn this up a little bit more. Probably ought to add some music in here for you guys so you don't have to listen to the noise. Just scrape the sides down. This is supposed to look lighter in color and fluffy, and I don't see that yet, so We're going to let this go just a little bit longer. Okay, so the next step is the buckwheat honey and the eggs. So I'm going to add that right now. And I'm going to tell you guys, this is from Myers Honey, and it is so good. I had somebody accuse me of it being syrup, and it wasn't. It's not syrup, it's pure honey. They have the best around. And I'm going to add my eggs. Get all that goodness out of the bowl there. Sorry I don't have a good view for you today. I'm going to turn that back on. I need my spatula because I'm going to have to scrape the sides down. This smells really good too. I'm sure it's going to be a lot better than the molasses. Scrape the sides down. I want to make sure that that all gets blended in. Going with the beater running is kind of dangerous. I think I don't need to do that anymore. Okay. Put this back on. Okay, that looks pretty good. And I'm going to push this out of the way because I got more ingredients. And I don't know how focused this is going to be. Yeah, it looks pretty good. So now I'm going to add all of the dry ingredients in with the flour. I'm going to do a whisk. Get that all incorporated. That looks pretty good. Oh, it smells good too with all those seasonings. Wash my hands here. I don't do that anymore. So now I'm moving my mixer back into the picture, and we're going to add our dry ingredients to the wet. You add it gradually so you don't end up with a dust storm in your kitchen. Oh, and I'm spilling. Wouldn't be in my kitchen if it wasn't making a mess. I want to get this well incorporated so that I can let it sit in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes. And you're going to see Mr. Mike here in a second. What do you think?
I don't know.
You'll find out when they're baked, won't you?
Yep. How much honey you got in it?
It's only got a half a cup of buckwheat honey in it.
Okay.
But you can smell it, can't you?
And I like the buckwheat.
Mm-hmm. Me too. So we'll see you later, Mr. Mike.
Bye.
So it's coming together very nicely. And I think this part's done. So now what I'm going to do is get everything scraped down, mix it together a little bit, and then I'm going to throw it in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes. So we will be back. We're back. It's been 30 minutes. The dough's chilled. And it's time to make some cookies. So it says to make 1.5 inch balls. So I think that's about 1.5 inches. And then I'm going to dip the top of it in some Turbino cane sugar and put it on the sheet. Now it says to have it 2.5 inches apart. I don't have bigger pans, so I'm going to be baking all night. That over a little bit. And I'm doing it on parchment paper because it just seems to work a little bit better for me. And this is the sugar. It'll be a little smaller. I'm not going to keep you around while I'm baking. I'll bring you in for the final product. I'm going to have to stagger these, I think. That's why I said it's going to be all night, because I can get very few cookies on this sheet. So we're dipping away. And if I didn't tell you, I got the oven preheating at 350 degrees. And I'm going to bake them for about 11 minutes, and it tells you not to over bake them. It's sort of like brownies. Excuse me for my throat, folks. Old habits die hard, I guess. Gotta clear all the time. And I got 2 pans. So while I'm throwing one in the oven, the other one's cooling, I can alternate and keep the process going. So there you go. We got our first pan ready to go. Set this aside, get the next one ready. And as soon as the oven's hot enough, we're going to start baking. So I will see you shortly. Alright, I'm ready to get the first batch out of the oven. I'm getting kind of geeked up because they're looking pretty good. So, excuse the blurriness. They look really good. Oh my goodness. Can you see them? They're pretty. They're pretty. Now I gotta get them off of here and on a cooling rack, let this one cool down, get the other one in, and just keep baking. So I'll see you in a little bit. So we're done baking, and this is what we have. And they taste so good. I've already test driven one just to make sure that they were baked properly. And I normally don't do this. I normally take a picture and eat them later. But today I'm going to eat one with you all. They turned out very good, very cakey, and the buckwheat honey is awesome. If you can't get buckwheat honey, you can still use molasses and they'll be just as good. And here we go. Delish. Sorry, I'm chewing. So I hope you try these out. I went out of my comfort zone and I baked cookies today. Glad I did it. I'm so glad you all came along today to visit with me and see my beautiful face for radio. And I love you all, and I wish you a blessed day, and we will see you on the next one.